Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today I'm going to make another gravity ice-dyed spiral. I love these things. I think they turn out so cool, and so I want to try another one. This one though I'm going to do on a traditional Gildan Ultra Cotton t-shirt. Before I came outside, I used a washable marker and marked the middle of my t-shirt with an X. I have 2 plastic sawhorses, and in between the 2 plastic sawhorses, I'm going to place a piece of vinyl guttering. But before I do that, I'm going to place the guttering inside of the shirt. To spiral the shirt, I'm going to use a pair of locking tweezers and a microwave splatter guard. I'm going to attach the tweezers onto the X portion that I've drawn on the shirt and then place the splatter guard over the top. As I turn the tweezers, I'm going to use my other hand to form folds in the shirt. Because I have part of the shirt hanging down below, it is a little bit more difficult to spiral the shirt with the guttering running through it. So I'm going to take off the splatter guard at some point and just use my hands to try to add additional folds in the shirt. When I can't really spiral it anymore, I'm going to push the additional fabric in toward the middle. It'll make it a little bit easier to apply the dye and the ice. To make the shirt a little bit more pliable, I just sprayed it with some soda ash solution that I'd placed inside of a spray bottle. I've chosen 2 red colors and I've chosen 2 purple colors to put on the shirt. I'm starting with Velvet Orchid from Die Spin, and I'm going to make one line of that up into the center of the spiral. I've been making my lines of color a little bit more narrow on the past couple spirals that I've done, and I want to make these lines just a little bit wider on this one. Then I'm going to use Cosmic Energy from Happy Cat Tie-Dye. The 2 red colors that I'm going to use are Wild Cherry from Die Spin and Cardinal Red from Dharma. Now I'm going to place an additional sprinkle of soda ash over the top of the dye. And then I'm going to add on a large chunk of ice. I left the shirt alone and allowed the ice to melt. I've included some process photos so that you can see how the ice melted and ran down the shirt. Once this first layer of ice melted, I came back and added a second layer of ice, and it was almost totally melted just about the time it became dark. Normally, I just leave my gravity dyes outside, even in the dark, but it was supposed to rain, so I had to go ahead and bring the shirt inside. To do that, I took one of my long totes that has a metal rack down in the bottom, and just picked up the piece of vinyl guttering, and it fit perfectly down inside of that tote. I put the lid on the tote and took it into a warm area and allowed it to process. I only left it about 12 hours inside, and then I was going to do hot water irrigation, but my sprayer wasn't working properly. So I just poured the really hot water over the top of the shirt. With the time that the shirt had spent outside in the heat, and the time that it spent inside in the really hot area as well, it was probably okay. The dye was probably going to end up being nice and vibrant anyway. I just wanted to make sure. So after I poured the really hot water over the top, there was really no need to go ahead and rinse it in cold water because any of the soda ash that was in the shirt is probably already gone. So I went ahead and just continued rinsing it in some hot water, and then I went ahead and soaked the shirt. I ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent to the water, and just allowed the shirt to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I put the shirt into my washing machine along with some of Dharma's professional textile detergent, and I washed it in a hot water cycle. So after I washed, dried, and ironed the shirt, this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? So I really like this one. I think it turned out looking really pretty. So the last couple of gravity geodes that I did and I posted, I used ladies V-neck t-shirts. So they were a little bit thinner and the V-neck was a little bit deeper. On one of those t-shirts, I placed the spiral in the center, and then on the other t-shirt, I placed the spiral down in the lower portion of the shirt. On the one where the spiral was in the center, I wasn't a big fan of the way that looked. It was a little too close to the V, and I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite. So I thought I would try that design again, but place it on just a crew neck shirt. This is a Gildan Ultra Cotton shirt too, so it's a little bit thicker. And I really like this one. I like the dye placement on this shirt, and I like the way the dye moved better on this shirt as well. Don't get me wrong, I like the other one too, but I just prefer this one. I really like on those V-necks to put the spiral down in the lower portion of the shirt. I think it offsets that deep V a little bit better. I also added some wider lines of color on this shirt. Remember, I made my dye lines a little bit wider, and I like the look of that too. That center spiral is really defined on this shirt. It almost looks like kind of a vortex or something, how it spirals in. And then right where I placed my locking tweezers to start the spiral, that I kind of have a vertical line right there. So that area must have stuck up just a little bit. It doesn't look bad, but I thought that was kind of interesting how that little area in the middle was. I think it's fun too how I don't really have a lot of color splits right in the defined portion of the spiral, but as the dye goes away from that center part, it starts to break apart into all the different dye splits. And then, of course, the dye splits kind of roll around to the back of the shirt. It looks a little bit like a crime scene on the back of the shirt in a couple places, but I think that just gives a little extra interest to the shirt. I have a pretty large chunk of one of the dark reds too down in the bottom part of the front of the shirt. Here again, I don't think that looks bad, but it is there. You notice these things more in photos than you do when you just look at the shirt. That's kind of why I like to take the photos and then look at the photos, because all the little nuances of a shirt you catch when you look at the photographs of it. When somebody's wearing it, you just notice the design and what a cool shirt it is. So I really like this shirt. I think it looks really pretty. Love the colors, love the dye movement. I'm really happy with it. But what do you guys think? Do you like this shirt? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed watching me make this shirt, I sure would appreciate it if you would like the video and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.